To take a page from my good partner's lexicon, we're back at it again, but we're going to take a different slant on our state of the state for 2020 because, as we all know, 2020 got off to a flying start in January. My goodness, the Badgers played in a Rose Bowl game. The Packers were in a playoff game, but then really all hell broke loose shortly thereafter. So as we talk about 2020 and things and how they'll unfold for 2020, I turn it over to Derek and say, we're going to have to kind of go back to square one, more importantly, right?
Yeah, you know, it's a real scary time right now. You know, it's amazing how many conversations you can get into about what is this thing, how long is it going to last, all these other things. And, you know, through all the executive meetings and the board meetings and everything else, I've tried to kind of have two rules. One is, let's not make any assumptions about tomorrow because we just don't know what's going on, right? And let's make sure that we understand one thing, that regardless of how we feel about COVID, right, because I think you're starting to see people divide on this thing a little bit, is it's happening. And there's no way around it. And on Friday when we try to open this place, I've never been more nervous. It seems kind of strange to me that we're all fired up, right? Everybody's been inside and they can't wait to get outside and play a little golf. But you know, at this point, when I was talking to my dad about it, I feel like the only thing that can happen is bad, right? I mean, if one person gets sick or infected, you know, how are they going to view that for us? You know, in the golf business, maybe they'll shut us right down. And, you know, truth be told, people are still dying. The food lines at the food banks are long. And, you know, we got a lot of people unemployed that are really hurting right now, including some of our very own employees. You know, so when that March 14th or 15th date rolled around and you're getting some phone calls from the executive team about, you know, what's going to happen at Blackhawk Country Club, and to see, you know, Lindsay behind the camera with a mask on, and, you know, have to talk to Todd and Matt and everybody about, you know, this really, really strong team that we've built, to have to furlough people. Man, that was a very, very emotional time for me, and then trying to navigate what's going to happen next. And if you don't think I was emotional about it and stressed out, I ended up with the shingles. And
that's not a laughing matter either. That's painful.
Even laughing right now, I'm still in some pain. But, you know, so I got to kind of experience what they were talking about with the medical system, because I couldn't get in for any care. You had to do everything online, and, you know, it gets a little bit weird to hold up your phone and kind of strip down so somebody else can look at it. But I don't really think there's anything other than to say it's just very sad. You know, I think there's a lot of opinions about it and whatnot, and you know, so from where I sit, when you have a membership that has paid their dues, and we have a golf course that, you know, looking out the windows here in the back bar, looks just short of Augusta. I think what I had to do, from listening to the board and getting some direction from the executive team, is I guess I have to open up and I have to let the members choose what they think is right for them. And in doing so, we got a lot of guidelines, and, you know, Chad and his team has been out there, and we're trying to make sure that everything is good there. And our main goal here when we talk is touch points. That's what we're going to talk about, is what are touch points, where can, you know, the infection be spread, or how can somebody else be infected. And, you know, and then Evers has given us some guidelines on how we're going to move forward. And we could probably talk for hours about this, but I think what we'd like to do now is, you know, kind of a 5, 6, 7 video mini series on, you know, what's going to happen when you come here to play golf, and what are your expectations going to be when the beverage and the food is ready to go, and what is Blackhawk going to look like tomorrow, and how are we going to bring back these employees. It just breaks our heart to know that at home right now, and for those of you that don't know and think it's going really good, it's not. We have people on unemployment that haven't gotten a check yet, you know, so we're 1 month out. Some employees that are struggling to even buy food. So that's the seriousness of this. Is you have this virus that's deadly, that's obviously changed our world forever. But where it hits home for me is that I had to furlough some people that right now are really struggling. So, and we'll get into that and some of the other the other videos as we move forward. For me, this wasn't in the PGA job description, I can tell you that. But with the executive team, led by Steve Sosnowski, Lee Furter, Craig Thompson, Scott Vanderson, and the amount of guidance and leadership that they've shown me in this time, which hopefully I'm then doing for our staff, and then the quick reaction from the board. I just can't say enough about how happy I am to have the people that are on those committees and boards available to me right now.
So the best information that we can pass along, at least right now, because it's changing almost hourly, daily, weekly, stay tuned to your website here at Blackhawk to kind of keep up on the comings and goings. This is kind of our state of the state, but we're just scratching the surface. We'll kind of come back with another installment. This is not the last dance for Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson and company, but this is the beginning of a series of little infomercials, if you will, to let you know about our golf course, what you can do, what you can't do, and what you better not do if we want to continue to keep our doors open. So by all means, stay tuned, go to the website. As Lindsay disseminates this information, there'll be more to follow, okay? Thanks for joining us.